Welcome to mock test proctor training. My name is Anthony Russimano. I'm with Futureology at the Capistrano Unified School District, and I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this. Hopefully it'll help prepare you to help us with proctoring. So I want to take you through a couple things today. We'll talk about who to contact, the benefits of the testing that we're going to be doing in the district, your role as a proctor, and then just in general event day. Understand that this also comes with an actual a Word document for proctor script. So you should read through that, which actually gives you some dialogue to have with the students verbatim. So you should go through that as well as this little training for 5 minutes. So with that said, if you can see on the screen here, you'll notice we have all the dates upcoming in March and in April for all the proctor's tests. So I'm not sure which date you've signed up for, but make sure you note your date, and the times for all the testing are from 9 to 12:30. This exam is sponsored by an outside vendor called Revolution Prep. They will be providing the materials, the test booklets, the scoring app, all that thing is done, as well as the registration on their site. So understand that. So if people have questions about the specific test or anything with the scoring of that, Revolution Prep will be your contact for that. So that's the agenda for today. Hopefully you'll be able to stick around and watch all of it. These are the contacts you'll have. Again, there's me, myself, Anthony. There's my email address if you need to reach out to me for anything that has either occurred during the test day, or my cell number is also listed if you have any additional questions. Jacob Cantor is with Revolution Prep. He is also a contact for them on their side. So if there's a question you have maybe about the exam yourself or scoring, you can shoot him an email, jacob.cantor@revolutionprep.com. So the benefits and why we're doing this is we're really trying to give all the students in our district an opportunity to take a practice full-length test under real-time condition without affecting their record. This gives them a chance to see what it's like for college admissions testing without going on their transcript. They'll get a personalized score report after when they score that app using the mobile scoring app that will detail some strengths and weaknesses for them and kind of just give them a snapshot of how they test. And it's really a great opportunity for everybody. It's only $5. And like I said, you get immediate scoring. What we're trying to do, so if somebody's asking you a question, maybe they're a sophomore, we're trying to get students to take both a practice SAT and a practice ACT. And that'll allow them to compare their scores and determine if one test is better than another, or they liked one better than the other. Because in college admissions, you only need one test, not both exams. So we really recommend that students focus on one exam moving forward. And by taking a practice exam, it's not even put on your record. So that's kind of the benefit of that. We'll be offering an in-person score interpretation session as well. But this allows them that starting point and baseline to know how far are they from their goal. Okay, so those are the benefits of this testing that we're doing. Your role, you're going to have four main responsibilities. One is just the proctoring itself, where you actually do the timing in a classroom setting for the students. The second is directing students when we first get there. We've got to flow them into their appropriate rooms, whether taking SAT in the SAT classroom or an ACT. So at the start of the test day, you find your lead proctor to find out what rooms are the ACT testers and what rooms are the SAT testers and what room you're going to take. It's pretty casual in terms of what room we're going to be taking. At each high school, it's going to be a little different setup based on the size of the room and location of the room. You'll be notified ahead of time where we'll be testing, so you know where to park and where you know to go in terms of the rooms. The other part of your role is after testing is finished, we're going to try to help students score their exams with their scoring app. They will get a handout that will show them and explain to them how to download the app. Ahead of time, we'll send out emails for all the registrants. And then at the end of the day, closing down the room and making sure you've picked up it looks the same way as it started. The timing of the day is as follows. From 8:30 to 9 is where we're going to set up our rooms and direct the traffic. So make sure you get there by 8:30, if not 8:15. From 9 to 12:30 is when you're actually timing the test. You're in your room, you're taking attendance, and you're making sure the students are having a good experience. And then also at the end of the time, you're packing up the room, you're closing it down. Between 12:30 and 1 is typically when we're scoring the tests and making sure students can get their score report. We're also just answering any questions students may leave at that point in time. We will not be doing the essay. That's in the script as well. So just so you know, if somebody asks that, there's no essay to be done. They can take it home and do it on their own at home, but that doesn't go into their number score that they get for the SAT or the ACT. This is something we would want you to put on the whiteboard or the chalkboard when you get into the room. Make sure you don't erase any math formulas or anything of that nature. See if you can find a spot on the room to be doing this. If you're giving an SAT exam, that's on the top area. If there's a reading, writing, and language, and math with and without a calculator with all the timings in minutes. So you're going to want to put a start and end time on the board. And you can put that ahead of time so they know. The other thing you're going to do, it is in your Word document script, but kind of call out a last call for 5 minutes left in the section so they're just aware. And then when the section is over, you'll see that in your script as well. Please put your pencils down. Let's move on to the next section unless there's going to be a break. So that's really what we want you to do in terms of managing the room, putting the timings on the board, keeping track of the time. Hopefully you'll have a clock in the room that they can watch. If not, you'll just have to use your phone and just kind of give them that time. So that's what we want you to put on the board. In terms of scoring and dismissal, you want to make sure that they've downloaded the app ahead of time. I usually will announce that when they first walk into the room. Hey, have you downloaded the app? If they have not, having them do that right away. They're going to need their username and password, which was probably set up when they set up the account. If not, you should have a roster in your hand that's given to you by Revolution Prep. Typically, their first name, last name is their username if it's not their email. And then there is a default as well where it's their last name or last name Revolution for the password. But again, they should have set that up ahead of time. We will email them ahead of time so that they have all this taken care of. If not, or they forgot their password, they can reset it on their phone, okay? We also tell them if a friend of theirs has already able to score it, maybe using their phone, if their phone isn't a very good phone, it's not working properly. So that's just the scoring part of it. Reach out to some of the Revolution Prep proctors that are going to be there, because typically they'll have an app themselves where they have the whole roster on it and can score their exam. So, and then in terms of dismissal, sending everybody out of the room, picking up, make sure they picked up their belongings, and closing up the room, turning the lights off, making any erasing, putting the desk back in the same position. And that's really it. That's kind of the proctoring that you're going to see or we're going to have for the students, okay? Again, be professional, make sure you're on time. If you have questions, seek out the other proctors, the more veteran proctors or your lead proctor on the site. You can reach out to me if you have any questions, but overall, it's a pretty easy day. While you're proctoring, you can read a book, you could do something really simple, but again, paying attention to your room, making sure people are quiet for the other testers. You'll have to manage the room and making sure nobody's getting out of hand. Also, they shouldn't be eating while they're testing. Letting them go to the restrooms, sure, they can do that during the test, but they're only losing their time. So those are just some best practices. Hopefully you won't have any questions. It'll run smoothly. And again, thank you for taking the time to do this service for us. All right, I'm signing off. Hopefully I'll see you soon.